life.
What up, YouTube? It's your girl Dee Dee. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another quick video for you guys. Now, I saw this snippet, this interview of Cheyenne Bryant, and there was something she said that kind of got my attention, and I wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on it because I thought it was insane, but I want to know if it's just me or do you guys agree with what she's saying? I just want to play the clip and then we're going to get into it. Let me know if you agree with what she's saying or if you disagree, because I disagree with what she's saying for sure. And I'll tell you why. But before we hop into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It's free to subscribe. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Also share and like the video and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. All right. So make sure you guys are doing that. But let's hop into this little short clip that I have of what she said in this interview with Shannon. Here we go.
A woman will become a product of your environment. Offset and Cardi B is a perfect example. Cardi B came into it. She had no kids. She was in her career. She's going diamond and platinum with her records. No kids. Offset had how many? By how many?
I think you had a couple.
So who became a product of whose environment? Cardi now has 2 by 2. My theory. Proven. Right. Again. She has 2 by 2. So she's a product of his environment. I'm just saying what it is.
All right. So that's a short clip. There's more to the interview. Make sure you guys go over and check out the full interview if you haven't already. I came across this clip and, you know, I couldn't disagree more. Now, he has, you know, multiple children by multiple women. She decided to date this guy. You know, you have to take some accountability for the types of guys that you date. Now, keep in mind, now I think he had these children before she dated him, right? So Cardi B knew that this man that she was interested in had children already by multiple baby mamas, right? If that's the case, I don't know how many kids he have and how many, but I think it's more than one baby mother. She knew this, right? So when you know this, there's no excuse for your actions. If you, it's almost as if she's making as if she's saying, "Oh, Cardi B, you know, came into his environment and then she just did what he was doing." No, she knew what she was getting into. It's not like she went into it under some false pretenses. It's not like she dated him and he hid his kids and she didn't know he had children and he lied to her. No, she was fully aware of him having children and baby mothers and all of it, I'm sure. Yeah, it didn't seem like she wasn't aware of it. So she was aware of this. That was somebody that he was interested in her and she was interested in him back. And she you know, she decided to date him. So that she has to take accountability for choosing the type of men that she wants to make a family with. And you know, and by the way, she did marry him. I don't think he forced her to marry him. She wanted to marry him and she gave him a child in the marriage, right? So let's make that clear. So I don't think that's a product of his environment because he was not married to any of the other women that he gave children to, right? So for that, in that way, it's a bit different because they did get married and then she had a child. What would be the excuse for her walking away from the marriage and then having a child by another man while still legally married? Who's a product of that? And who's at fault for that? Because it's almost as if it's trying to make some type of excuse for that behavior. Well, what made her go and sleep with somebody else and get pregnant by him while she's still legally married? Who's to blame for that? There's never any accountability. I think this is the sickness I think that there is when it comes to women. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think a lot of us are crazy. I think all of us are bat crazy to some degree, including myself. I think we all have issues that have gone unresolved. And then we get in relationships and we're trying to maneuver relationships with the craziness that we've built up in our heads. And it never pans out, but then we don't have any accountability. We don't blame ourselves. We look at the other person and try to get that person to fix it all. And that's a human being. That person don't have all the answers. This is why you have to pay attention to the person that you're dating. And if you already see some flaws, obvious ones that may cause an issue, you're supposed to try to avoid that. But those are the type of guys that the women run to. You know why? Because they are flawed themselves. Women have a lot of flaws and a lot of issues, and they understand it when they see it in another person, especially a man. They are attracted to it because they know it resembles them. But they never want to admit that you are attracted to toxicity because you are toxic. It's just y'all are toxic in different ways. He's toxic in a way where he sleep with everybody. He has no control over that. He chooses to not to have any discipline because that's what he likes doing. No, people aren't going to put limits on things that they actually like to do. So if you like to sleep around, why would you turn around and you can? Why would you? And you like that? Why would you discipline yourself for something you actually from something that you actually enjoy? So no, you're not going to put limits on something you actually enjoy and you are able to do it. That wouldn't make any sense. So you go and gravitate to a man that you know loves sex, love women, and he gonna be with him no matter what. He'll marry you and be with you too, but he have options, and he's gonna use all his options because he liked doing that. So you know this, but you're so attracted to him, you want him because that's what you want, and you go after it. Then when you get him, now all of a sudden you want him to have this epiphany where he decide, when he with you, he's supposed to all of a sudden start saying, "Oh, I'm with her. I got to shape up. I want to do better. I don't want all the hoes no more. I want to scale it back, put it away. I'm not going to bring it out." No, he's still going to bring it out, whip it out, do what he loved doing. That didn't change. Nothing's changing him. And a lot of women do this. They try to get with men who they know are promiscuous. They know these men could get the and they know that he gonna go out and sling that thing everywhere. You know this, but you want to be a part of his rotation. You want to be the main chick in his life, so you become that. But that's still not gonna stop him from doing what he does. And a lot of these women know it, but somehow deep down in these psycho brains of theirs, they think that that's going to change him. They think that that's somehow when you get with him, you have kids for him. And you think that that's gonna slow him down, and he gonna start to realize what's important, and he gonna grow up. He all of a sudden gonna grow up and he gonna be like, my family is most of. And I'm not saying that a lot of these men love their families. I believe Offset loves his family. I believe he loves Cardi. I believe he loves his family. But that doesn't take away from his other behavior, because that's part of who he is. And he's not going to change until he's ready to do so. Until he's ready to throw in the towel and say, you know what, I don't want to do that no more. And then maybe he won't do it. But until then, he's going to do what he do. So the toxicity part for him would be, in my opinion, would be the fact that he's a whoremonger. He's going to go out, he's going to sleep, nothing's going to stop that. The toxicity on her part could be a plethora of things. It could be her attitude, her mouth. She even talked about that as well, which is a lot of people. She's not the only one. A lot of people have an issue with communication. They flip off of the mouth. You don't want to hear anything. You have an attitude. You know what I mean? You'll cuss people out. Like, that's a lot of folks. Because we grew up seeing that, so that becomes a part of your environment. We are all products of our environments. So to try to point out, that Cardi B is a product of her environment with Offset. No, Cardi B is a product of her environment overall, from how she was raised and where she grew up at. If you grow up in the hood, you grow up in the projects, you grow up around all this stuff, everybody is a product of their environment. It's not just one person. That's crazy to say in a relationship, this person is a product of that person's environment. No, y'all are both products of your environments together. Y'all both have toxic traits because of the things that you grew up around, the people you grew up around, the things that you saw, the things that you gravitated to as young people. Your whole being is not shaped as an adult. You're shaped into who you are based off of your childhood experiences, based off the things you saw growing up. Those are the things that help to shape you to become who you are as an adult. You think you just grow up to be you get to 18, and then you get to 18 and all of a sudden you just start acting crazy. No, that's years of an environment and things associated with that environment that either happen to you or happen around you that shape your mentality, shape who you are, how you think, how you move, the things that you do. So to say somebody is a product of another person as adults is crazy to me. Now, you can be influenced by others, but I don't think that that's what it was. It takes a long time for you to actually, you know what I'm saying? And I think you can be influenced by people if you allow that. By being around certain people, you pick up certain things. But that even typically happens when you're younger, because you don't have any guidance, or you don't have any, positive role models, and you just hang around negative people or people doing the wrong things and you get caught up. That's typically happens when you're a teenager as well, or young. But grown 30, 40 something year old people, you making your own decisions. You know what you was getting into. So it's just an excuse after excuse after excuse, in my opinion. And I don't think there is any excuse. People choose to do what they want. People like what they like, whether it's toxic or not. And some people like a little toxic nature, but only when it's beneficial to them. Meaning, like if y'all are toxic together, y'all having fun in y'all toxicity, okay. But then when it gets crazy and the person doesn't do what you want them to do, now you don't like their toxic nature. Now it's a problem. Now y'all getting in arguments. Now y'all fighting about things because when you don't get your way, it becomes a problem. Bottom line, people know what they're getting into. You know the type of person that you're dealing with, but you deal with them anyway. And like I said, when you can't have control over them and you can't make them do something the way you want them to do it, then you're mad. So, that's what it is. I don't believe that Cardi B is a product of his environment. They're products of both of their environments. They both have a part in their relationship, just like most people. Most relationships, you have to be responsible for your part and the other person has to be responsible for their part. You can't blame somebody else for the choices that you made. You can't do that. You make the choices. You decide. If he was not somebody that she realized she wanted to be with, she could have easily just left. But she was in a relationship. She married him. He was not doing something that right, and then she was threatening to leave and took him back. He left and took him back because she wanted to be there. He just decided whatever the issue she had, he just seems, from what we gathered, he just seems to not want to adhere to what she wants. He's gonna do what he want to do. You can't, he's not gonna just wake up one day and just be a totally different person. He's gonna be who he is until he decides to change, and that's that. You either accept it or you don't. And I think in this Cardi B Offset situation, she finally decided that she was done, but the way she did it was not the best. She was at least married to that man, and now she went, got a baby by somebody else. Hopefully that relationship works out. But if she's the product of the environment of Offset, then she also must be the product of the environment of this new guy too, because he also has got several baby mamas. So what is that saying? Now she went to another guy that's very similar to the one she had, which some would argue she should have just stayed with her husband if she was going to do it and had another baby for him. At least it wouldn't look so bad that she got knocked up for somebody else and she's still legally married, if that's the case. So, I mean, is she a product of the environment of this guy? Because he's also a two-time or however many time baby mama as well. So that just doesn't make any sense to me. So I mean, come on now. But once again, it's a way to not put any accountability on the women, but put it all on the men, when a lot of these women know what they're getting into, and a lot of these women have issues themselves. Once again, I always say this: a lot of women like to make it seem as women are just perfect, that they make no mistakes, they don't have no issues, they're not toxic, they're not abusive, they're just nothing, they're just a bowl of roses. When we know that is far, far, far from the truth. A lot of these women, once again, are batshit crazy. And they don't want to accept it, and they don't want to take any accountability on their parts. They just want to keep blaming the men, and that's not really working out, because now men don't even want to deal with these types of women, and it's just leaving them by their lonesome. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. DeeDeesReactions. Tell a friend, it's DeeDeesReactions. 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 Later.